7 Ways British Summer was a huge culture shock to an American. Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. Today we're going to jump into a video of a channel called Girl Gone London, and she's talking about 7 Ways British Summers were a huge culture shock for her as an American. And I can imagine what she's going to talk about. At least one of the topics is 100% going to be the ACs. 100%, and that they are not there in the UK. And I can imagine that this is indeed a really big culture shock. But this video is 9 minutes long, so I guess there are more topics that she's going to talk about. I'm very interested into finding out. And also in this room right now, it's so freaking hot. It's in the middle of summer, and this topic is great to watch at the moment, at least for me. Let's get into it.
British summer is on its way. Kind of. I mean, the sun has been out in the southeast of England for the past couple of weeks, which means most British people will now complain that summer is basically over and it'll be bad weather for the next 3 months. But I have not lost my blind American optimism after 13 years here, so I still have hope. And with that hope comes this video. On all the ways British summer was a pretty big culture shock to me as an American when I first moved here. Because a British summer is a very particular thing. It's eating Mr. Whippies in the park. It's daylight hours that honestly go very, very, very late compared to what I'm used to in the States. And it's a very happy time in the UK. So here are some things I've had to get used to, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I also want to say a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. I've used HelloFresh multiple times now.
I'm gonna skip this ad. If you're interested in it, Girl Gone London, that's the channel name. You can hop on over there if you want to use her code for that. But due to reasons that I'm not gonna go into right now, by the way, this is the code, I'm not going to watch said commercial of said company. Let's continue with the video.
Fresh. Now, the first thing on my list of British summer culture shocks is hay fever, or seasonal allergies, whatever you want to call it. Sorry to all of you equally suffering because, oh my gosh, my eyes have never been itchier, but one thing you don't think about when you're moving countries is the different types of trees and plants. Turns out, I'm not allergic to much in Florida. I mean, I am allergic to cats, but I'm allergic to cats in all countries. But I'm not allergic to Florida grass or plants. Then I moved to the UK and I thought, why do I wake up with a cold all summer long, and why are my eyes glued shut together every morning? Turns out British summer is also now hay fever season for me and many others as things bloom and become green and beautiful.
That's something you don't think about if you move. She's
also,
right about
side note, this video is about to get much more positive, but one of the funny things about British summertime for me is those specifically a couple of really bad weeks where it's really nice outside, but I'm equally like hiding inside with everything shut, trying to turn my house into some sort of like decontamination lab and not actually see the outside world. Next up on my list of British summer culture shocks is the actual dates of summer. Not the dates of the calendar summer, that's the same, but the dates of what we culturally think of as summer. And this is interesting to me because it often goes along with the kids' school calendar. Summer holidays in England, as it's called, tends to be the end of July to the end of August. They get about a 6-week break. And so I do feel that people think of that time period more as the summer, July and August. But in the US, where I grew up, kids have longer summers and less breaks in the school year. This means we would get out of school mid-May and often go back very early August, if not July 31st. One year we would...
Wait, what? 2 months? Oh wow, this explains so much. Almost every single TV show that takes place in America and is about people in schools, there's always in between seasons the huge summer break. And I never knew that it was indeed a really huge summer break. Oh my gosh, that explains so much. In my favorite TV show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's just like that, at least in the beginning. That's so funny. I didn't know that. And they okay, in May, up until, what did she say?
Often go back very early August, if not July 31st. One year we would...
July 31st. Okay, so it's 2 months. No. May, June, July. It's 3 months? Summer break here in Germany is 6 weeks. and they have 3 months. But I guess, like she said, they do not have any more breaks in between the year. And I think, as a former German school kid, I do think more breaks, but shorter breaks, are better than just one big one and then nothing for the rest of the year. So I guess I like the German system better.
Went back to school on July 31st. So we tended to think of like our cultural summer dates as starting and ending a bit earlier. So we're talking more like June and July rather than July and August. And this does depend where you are in the States because different regions do have different kinds of school calendars. But particularly in the South in the US where I'm from, our summer is just a bit earlier in the year than they tend to think of in the UK. Next up on my list are summer foods in the UK because summer foods in the UK and US are a
now I'm
little bit
excited.
different. There were quite a few traditional British summer foods that I hadn't
Oh
even tried
my
before,
gosh,
and
that
I'm
looks
thinking of
so
things like
good.
strawberries and cream. I had strawberries, but never with cream. Also, other summer foods
Oh,
that are popular
we
are
have them
things
with
like
whipped cream.
desserts with meringue. We typically are really big ice cream lovers in the US, and I thought of ice cream and popsicles as summer foods, but the British foods like Eton mess that tend to be enjoyed in the summer were foreign to me. Also, British picnic foods in the summer like mini pork pies or sausage rolls or the veggie alternatives were not something I was familiar with either. Now, next on my list of summer culture shocks.
To be honest, I can't imagine when it's a really hot summer day to eat a sausage roll or a pork pie. I can't. It's just like it feels too massive to eat it on a really, really hot day. Because when it's really, really hot here in Germany, I only think salad. I don't even think about making warm food and eating that, like pasta or rice or maybe potatoes. Because at a barbecue you use potatoes, but I more often eat a potato salad when it's really hot. So I wouldn't really think sausage roll or pork pie when it's 30 degrees or more outside, to be honest.
Box is a positive one. There aren't as many bugs or insects in the UK. Thank God.
There
Yes, there
aren't?
are midges in the Scottish Highlands, but you can actually sit outside in many parts of the UK during the summer without absolutely getting eaten
Yeah.
alive. In Florida, we've got tons of mosquitoes and who knows what
Depends
else, just
though
like
where you are.
swarms of insects, and I'm all for saving the bees and the planet and stuff, but also sometimes I really just want to eat my pops.
I'm sorry. I'm all for I'm all for saving the bees and what did she say?
And I'm all for saving the bees and the planet and stuff.
I'm all for saving the bees and the planets and stuff. I'm sorry. I didn't want to mock her, but it's just so funny. I'm all for saving the bees and the planet and stuff.
But also sometimes I really just want to eat my popsicle outside in peace. Relative lack
Yeah.
of bugs in the UK
We have a
due
lot
to the
of
different
bees
climates,
here in Germany,
particularly the
wasps.
flying ones, is a
If you
nice
eat
thing
ice
about
cream.
the summer here. Another difference has to do with socializing. So in Florida, due to the weather, we sort of have social activities all year round. Weirdly, our wedding season actually tends to be the winter months because it's our dry season, whereas it's the opposite in the UK and wedding season tends to be in the summer.
Yeah.
But also, I find that outside of holidays like Christmas and New Year, a lot of
My wedding was at the 6th of June this year. Today it's the 19th of June. So it's been like roughly 2 weeks since I've gotten married. Oh. Yeah, it was a really, really nice day. And also, it was a really cool summer day. It wasn't too hot. The sun didn't really shine onto us all day long. It was warm. It was like 20 to 25 degrees, clouded though, so that the sun wasn't too hot, but it didn't rain. It was perfect weather.
people kind of retreat into their homes and individual lives in the colder months in the UK. Whereas in the British summer, everyone wants to do something, whether it's a walk in the woods or a barbecue or a trip to the theme park or just like catching up with a friend. We're all cramming it into a few months, and my calendar in the summer months here always looks extremely hectic compared to the rest of the year. The sun comes out and there's like an alarm that spreads across the country saying we've got to fit our socializing in. The next thing on my list is barbecues and barbecue food, because The British love a summer barbecue, but we tend to have a
Germans
different
too.
one here in the UK than what we would have at an American barbecue. I find that American barbecues typically serve things like American style baked beans, corn on the cob, hamburgers, mac and cheese, hot dogs, maybe pulled pork or ribs.
What? Mac and cheese when it's 30 degrees outside. I mean, hamburgers is like the red line that we can't cross. It's like at on the line exactly. It's like almost not bearable anymore, but it's still okay because it's a hamburger. And in Germany, most of the time you have salad with it as well. I don't think it's the same in America. What else did she just say?
Typically serve things like American style baked beans, corn on the cob, hamburgers, mac and cheese, hot dogs, maybe pulled pork or ribs. In the
That's also heavy. That's also heavy. How can you eat that when it's so hot outside? That's weird to me. I'm sorry, Americans. I'm sorry. You do you. Me as a salad person, as soon as it gets summer, I'm like salad only. It's so weird.
UK, sausages and burgers do tend to be the main event, with something like salads or quiche as sides, and probably something like strawberries for dessert. Often
Yeah,
in
true. That's true. And also, we in Germany, when we do barbecue, of course, there's a lot of meat. In most households who do eat meat, that's the, let me think. The only thing besides vegetables that we put on the grill and eat warm now, the rest of it is just salad and fruits. That's it.
the US for a barbecue dessert, we would do something like ice cream or brownies or ice cream cake. This isn't like a hard and
Ice cream, brownies, ice cream cake, sugar, sugar, sugar. Wow, it's unbelievable. How can you eat that? You eat mac and cheese and then you eat brownies, like these really heavy, sugar heavy, fat heavy brownies after mac and cheese, and it's 40 degrees outside. How can you bear that? I can't, I can't.
fast rule. There's not like a law on barbecues in either country, but there's some definite different food trends when it comes to summer barbecues. Now, this also means that I'm kind of always looking for something fun to bring to a British barbecue, particularly because I'm American and so I can get away with breaking the traditional mold here because they just think I don't really know what's going on. And I thought, you know what? I'm a terrible cook, but I bet HelloFresh has some good summer recipes, and they do. So I've gone for these three in this
Okay, first of all, I love mac and cheese and brownies. Don't get me wrong here, I love them, but I eat them in fall or winter. That's where I really love them when it's cold outside and you need something warm, something for your comfort, something for you. It's like you sit in your hopefully warm house outside. It's really, really cold, and then you need this food, this warm and heavy food in order to keep yourself warm and just be like, I don't know, it's this feeling. I can't really describe it. Comfort food. But you need that in the winter time and not in 30 degrees. And also, I'm sorry, but I'm going to skip the next part of the video. She's like cooking things here. We can see what she's doing. She's making a salad. Oh my gosh. A really good salad, but that's all HelloFresh, so I'm gonna skip it. It looks really good though. I would eat that, but just cook by myself. And then let's see what else she has to say for the rest of the video.
and free desserts for life. And the final British culture shock in the summer is learning how to cool down a house. In Florida, we all have air conditioning. It's just a necessity. It's not really a luxury in a place like that, but in the UK, the climate means that most homes don't have air conditioning. And the number of ways that I've learned to get creative, even with my own portable air conditioners now, because I'm sorry, I couldn't stand it any longer. But it's like everyone has their own formula for keeping the house cool. All you do is you mix like 2 doses of closing the curtains in the hottest part of the day with 1 part ice pack, 3 parts fan blowing over a pile of ice cubes, that's one of my favorites, mixed with 8 parts cold food for dinner, and you've got yourself a recipe for surviving the hottest days. Now that brings me to the end of my video. British summer is one of my favorite times here, and I hope you enjoy yours. Don't forget to check out HelloFresh if you want to try for yourself. Check out the website to see all of the recipe options and use my code GGL50 by clicking the link below or
Okay, thank you so much for the video. I'm sorry that I had to skip all of the commercial stuff of this company. It's just that I do not want to promote any companies that I do not really like. So that's why. But you got the code if you want to have that. That video was a really cool one. Thank you so much. I mean, there wasn't anything really new to me other than the food. That was a really interesting comparison, though. But I mean, I knew about the AC stuff, and it's almost the same here in Germany. We do not have ACs in every single house either, but we do have ACs in almost every single car, which is a very interesting comparison if you ask me, because still don't understand it. It's like, why would you have an AC in your car, but not in the house where you actually live? I don't get it. Thank you so much for the video. Thank you so much for you being here with me. I hope you had fun watching it together with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.